WWL-TV, Channel 4, New Orleans. Michelle Miller, Mike Hoss, and meteorologist Carl Arredondo. This is Louisiana's news leader, Channel 4's Eyewitness News.
Some church members meeting in New Orleans want the federal government to get to the bottom of church burnings in the South. Hundreds of local couples celebrate a special anniversary in the Catholic Church. And we'll tell you if there will be sanctions on Chinese crawfish coming to Louisiana. Good evening. Michelle is off tonight. For many, Sunday is a time for worship. But this Sunday, many church leaders and churchgoers are calling for action. Some Southern Baptists meeting in New Orleans among them. They want the federal government to step up its investigation into the church burnings around the South. 30 black churches have been torched over the past year and a half. Buildings of worship have turned into infernos in the South over and over again. 30 black churches have been burned to the ground. Yesterday, the president talked about it. Today, Attorney General Janet Reno met with church leaders. A full-fledged investigation is underway. Today in New Orleans at the Baptist Convention, there are concerns too. Church leaders from around the country are here. Many are trying to raise money to rebuild the burned-down churches.
This is a cause for all of us to suffer.
Dr. Bill Merrill of Nashville, Tennessee, is passionate about stopping the burnings.
And if it is what many suspect it is, then it is absolutely reprehensible. It is the destruction of the property of people on no other grounds than that they are despised. And we, as Southern Baptists, reject that out and out.
In Merrill's home state of Tennessee, 6 churches have been burned. There have been fires all throughout the Southeast. Louisiana ranks second in the number of black churches burned, with 5. All of the churches burned in this state were in the Baton Rouge area. And of the 5 churches burned, 4 of them were torched on the same day. Still, investigators have been slow to point out a pattern that is clear to Raymond Miles.
Take my hand.
Miles sings in churches around the country and here at the Praline Connection. He is calling for swifter action by investigators.
It flabbergasted me, you know. It's just unreal. I can't even begin to fathom somebody would set the house of God afire. Unreal.
And in the audience this afternoon is Reverend John Raphael of the New Hope Baptist Church. He says you don't have to attend one of the 30 burned churches to understand what is going on here.
The black church is one of the stable institutions that has remained stable throughout the history of black people in America. And if you want to strike out at black Americans, that's the place to attack.
Reverend Raphael hopes that cooler heads prevail and that this investigation produces some arrests soon. Louisiana lawmakers say they're tired of seeing Chinese crawfish popping up in stores, so they met with the Chinese ambassador to try to do something about it. The lawmakers say they are stopping short of sanctions, but at a meeting with the Chinese ambassador, they asked the Chinese to voluntarily stop exporting mass amounts of crawfish to Louisiana, or they could risk tariffs.
They're going to come to the table, work out an agreement that will restrict the amount that they can sell in this state because they're clearly dumping, and that's a violation of the laws. I think we're going to be successful ultimately in getting the relief we need.
Senator J. Bennett Johnston was also at the meeting. He believes the Chinese government will cooperate. In Baton Rouge this week, the State House gets a chance to look at changes made by the Senate last week to the $12 billion budget bill. House members have to either accept the changes made by the Senate or send the bill to a committee to work out the differences. Lawmakers hope to have something to send to the governor's desk before the session ends on Wednesday. In 1946, a new Chevy was about $1,400, gas 18 cents a gallon. The terms teenager and Iron Curtain were first heard, and the Xerox company was just getting started. Since then, there have been so many changes, but many married couples stayed together through it all. Meg Farris reports on a citywide celebration in their honor.
Still holding hands decades after saying I do, nearly 330 couples packed the pews at St. Francis Xavier Cabrini Sunday afternoon. With generations of their progenies alongside, these jubilarians were here to give thanks for 50, 60, and even 65 years of marriage. How'd they do it? A common theme surrounded their success.
It's give and take. You got to give a little.
Respect for each other.
I'd say that's a give and take. That's it. Period.
Well, it's a two-way street. You have to give and take. There are times I feel like wringing her neck, and I wouldn't know what to do without her.
Sometimes just ignoring something.
And their advice for those newlywed or altar-bound?
Probably just stick with it. You're going to have some good days and some bad days.
You got to listen to those vows. If you don't listen to the vows, you just got a marriage contract.
Trying to understand each other's faults and forgiving when necessary.
Always kiss before you go to bed at night.
Right.
Well, they have more of a commitment in those days than they have today. Today, I don't think they have any commitment to marriage today. Really, I don't believe it.
Always give in to their mate if you can. Keeps down arguments.
And it was an extra special 60th anniversary for William and Mary Munch. Their son, now a bishop in Kentucky, came home to celebrate the Mass and deliver the sermon.
And it's possible in today's world. You know, sometimes people think, well, it doesn't happen anymore. It does happen, but it doesn't happen just because people vow to one another. They have to live that vow.
But while these couples gathered to celebrate more than a half-century of sharing their lives, younger couples gathered at the same time downtown to find out from the experts what it takes to get this far. Relationship expert Dr. John Gray had his live seminar on putting romance back in your marriage beamed by satellite to more than 70 locations. This couple, married 23 years, was learning about their natural differences.
Okay, get to the point, I'll do it. This is what you do.
But you like to explain a lot.
Right, I don't want him to fix it. I want him to listen to me. I want him to feel. I want him to hold me.
This couple, not yet engaged, was taking the preventive approach.
I look at it as things to avoid down the road because divorce is, you know, so common now that it's something I definitely don't want.
And with that desire and the willingness to work at it, David and Tina may someday join the ranks of the Jubilarians.
My parents are divorced, and I always said ever since I was little, I never wanted my children to go through, you know, having a divorced family.
Meg Farris, Channel 4, Eyewitness News.
And still to come on Eyewitness News, President Clinton discusses juvenile crime on his first stop headed west. And we'll tell you about more talks between the Freemen and the FBI.
In the Italian spirit of never leaving the table hungry, the Olive Garden presents our new chicken pasta abbondanza, just $8.95. Tender grilled herb chicken breast with ribbons and ribbons of our new green and white fettuccine alfredo. Stuffed with Italian meats and cheeses with unlimited salad and breadsticks. All this for just $8.95. Our chicken pasta abbondanza, only at the Olive Garden.
Their doors to discovery first opened with a single school of medicine in 1931. Today, 6 schools are educating Louisiana's medical pioneers.
The LSU Medical Center is the primary provider of over 70% of the healthcare professionals in this state.
Recognized by the National Cancer Institute, the Stanley S. Scott Center may soon rank among the top nationally in advanced treatment. Here at the Cardiovascular Center, researchers are restoring new life to damaged cells. And from the laboratory to the bedside, new drugs are in development to treat strokes and brain diseases at the Neuroscience Center.
Generating 20,000 jobs statewide, the LSU Medical Center brings $1 billion boost to our state economy.
Providing family care is another priority. In addition to grassroots programs in underserved communities, LSU Medical Center resources link all families to this world-class group of physicians. We're Louisiana made, Louisiana proud. At the LSU Medical Center and WWL-TV Channel 4.
If Dad seems bored with the same old Father's Day gift, then give him what he really wants, a quality recliner from Michael Hebert. This wingback in genuine leather was $12.99, but now $6.99. For the budget-minded, you can't beat these velvet two-way recliners for $99 each. Or get these overstuffed chairs for $3.59 and get the child's chair free. Gifts for Dad or those who want to be like Dad. At Michael Hebert, where we save you money.
FBI Director Louis Freeh reportedly has ordered new restrictions on sharing confidential files with the White House. The New York Times reports the move was prompted by the disclosure of more than 300 secret files that had been obtained by a White House aide. The White House says it was a mistake, but some Republicans charge the administration has been keeping an enemies list, a list that includes many top Republicans.
What we find is every day there's a new explanation, new information comes out. Now,
have admitted they were looking for derogatory information and passing it on to his political boss.
This search, about which so much fuss is being made, this sinister conspiracy, stopped at the letter G. Now, I just want to point out, if we could use a little common sense here, that a conspiracy-minded White House that is on some sort of all-out mission to go after its enemies does not stop partly through the alphabet.
The White House says an apology is in order over the file controversy. The White House is asking Bob Dole for one more thing before he quits the Senate on Tuesday. Chief of Staff Leon Panetta hopes Dole can break an impasse over a bill expanding health insurance. House Budget Committee Chairman John Kasich says the compromise is possible. President Clinton is in Las Vegas, his first stop on a 3-day visit out west. He took part today in a roundtable discussion about juvenile crime. He told the panel that while crime rates are dropping, juvenile crime is increasing. He said that juvenile curfews are working in some cities. The Freemen and the FBI have wrapped up another round of talks. 2 members of the group met with negotiators today at the ranch for about 40 minutes. Details of the talks have not been revealed. The standoff is now in its 77th day. Federal agents have taken a low-key approach to the standoff, hoping negotiations and some pressure tactics will bring it to a peaceful end. Coming up, there was a Russian invasion in France this morning. Jim will explain, coming up in sports.
Oh, what a shot! That's just an unbelievable...
You walk into Saturn, everybody's cool. Buying the car was not the #1 priority with the people in the dealership. They sit you down and they call you by your first name. You don't have to haggle.
The price was there and you knew what to pay.
No secrets.
You didn't want to pay it, you didn't have to buy it.
It was great.
Way different.
Absolutely. The guy was so nice, and he wasn't phony nice.
They weren't smarmy and condescending.
Buying a car is fun when you go to Saturn.
I can't remember the fellow's name. I think his name was
Larry.
I knew him either in another life or maybe he was a neighbor.
Let me know if you have any questions.
Pardon me, how can you get free checking when you turn 50?
With a Regions Excel account.
Where can I get bonus rates on CDs, too?
Regions Excel!
What about traveler's checks?
There's no fee with Regions Excel.
What about discounts on banking services?
Regions Excel!
If you're 50 or better, isn't it your time to excel? Regions Excel, another great service from Regions Bank. Let us lend you our strength.
Cuco's Mexican restaurant goes to so much trouble to make their chicken so special, and I'd like to know why. They only use the freshest chicken breasts and tenderloins available, and to perfect the flavor, they marinate their chicken over 6 hours in Cuco's own special citrus marinade. Why does Cuco's go to so much trouble?
Because it tastes better that way. Come to Cuco's and try the distinctive taste of our chicken or beef chimichanga for only $7.95. Cuco's, it tastes better our way.
The biggest in bedding comes from Universal Sealy and Southern Mattress. Save up to 50% during Mike Brenner's famous birthday sale. From plush to extra firm, save up to 50% on these Southern Mattress specials. Twin size, $49 each piece. Full, $79 each. Queen set, $2.99. King set, $3.49. It's the biggest bedding sale ever. And only Universal Furniture gives you free delivery, setup, and removal of your old bedding, too. So don't settle for less when you can buy the best from Universal Furniture.
The final at the French Open, exciting on the women's side and on the men's side, too, today.
You're right. A long match yesterday. Today, a 3-setter, but you can't get much tighter than this one was in 3 sets. Prior to today, Yevgeny Kafelnikov was known for his awesome potential and his voracious appetite for the game. Last year, he played more matches than any other man on the circuit. That enjoyment of the game was illustrated by a victory in the doubles championship of the French Open yesterday. That potential was displayed and perhaps realized with a victory in the singles of the French today. He was taking on Michael Stieck. Kafelnikov won the first set in a tiebreaker. The second set was also closely contested, with Kafelnikov hitting a forehand winner here. He won that set 7-5, and the third he displayed the vast arsenal of shots he has at his command. In another tiebreaker, he'll score with a backhand winner cross-court here. Then it'll be a beautifully placed backhand lob that gets over the rangy Stieck for a point. Coming up is match point, and he shows off his power as he'll nearly take the racket out of Stieck's hand. Kafelnikov becomes the first to win both doubles and singles in a Grand Slam since Stefan Edberg back in Australia in 1987. 7-6 with a 7-4 tiebreaker, 7-5 in the second set, another 7-4 tiebreaker in the third, and Yevgeny Kafelnikov is the men's French Open champion. Well, you'd like to be playing well heading into a major, and Ernie Els certainly is heading into this week's U.S. Open. But maybe the '94 Open winner's playing too well. He waltzed to a wire-to-wire victory in the Buick Classic today, but nobody's ever made the Open, the second of back-to-back wins. Els just chewed up the field at the Westchester Country Club. On 13, he got it down to 15 under par. At one point, his lead was 10 strokes. He lost a little concentration and some of that lead down the stretch, which was understandable. But in tapping here, Els still won by a whopping 8 strokes today. Braves pitchers who were cuffed around for 32 runs in the first 2 games of the series with Colorado looked for some respect today. John Smoltz was the Braves stopper. He fanned 9 Rockies for his Major League leading 12th victory. And he helped his own cause in a 3-run second. Smoltz slaps a gapper for a 2-run double off Mark Thompson. Ryan Klesko had a pair of hits for the winners, including this 2-run homer in the 3rd. As he will go the other way, this will be his 20th of the season as the Braves salvage the final game of the three-game series with an 8-3 win. The Mets shut out the Marlins 3-0. Ryan Sandberg had a 3-run homer as the Cubs defeated the Expos. The Astros nipped the Phillies. In the 7th, the Giants are pounding the Cardinals. In the 8th, the Dodgers lead the Reds. And in the 8th, it's Pittsburgh 6 and San Diego 0. Dwight Gooden averted the embarrassment of a 3-game sweep by the Detroit Tigers today. He fanned 6 and allowed just 4 hits and 8 innings of work for the Yankees. In the 7th, Tino Martinez provided the go-ahead run with his bloop double. It'll send Derek Jeter across as the Yankees hold on to first place in the East. The Indians sought to sweep their series with the Angels this afternoon. It went to the 13th, tied at 6-6. J.T. Snow delivered his second home run in the game in that one as the Angels defeat the Indians by a score of 8-6. The Yankees' victory came 3-2 over Detroit. In 10, the Brewers get past the Red Sox. The White Sox completed a 3-game sweep of the Orioles. The Mariners nipped the Royals. The Rangers knocked off the Blue Jays 8-6. Well, in horse racing parlance, Michael Andretti would be known as a mudder, or at least a rainer. For the 2nd race in a row, there was trouble that resulted in a restart, this time in the Detroit Grand Prix. Robbie Gordon, the defending champion, didn't contend with the rain too well. Here on lap 4, there was another rain-related incident when Andre Ribeiro spun in lap 23, barely missing and being missed by other drivers. Andretti made a bold move on Christian Fittipaldi. It came with 6 laps to go, and he held off the challenge for the checkered flag. It was the 2nd race in a row that Andretti used a late restart to make a pass that resulted in victory. And tonight, Seattle will see if they can't get into the NBA Finals against Chicago, finally getting a chance to play at home, but down 0-2 in the championship series.
All right, Jim, thanks. Coming up, Carl says the Muggies will return for the work week. He is forecast when we come back.
Get this Roper heavy-duty automatic washer by Whirlpool and get 2 speeds, 4 cycles, and family capacity. And get $30 off at just $269. Use your Campo card and pay nothing for 90 days. Always the guaranteed low price. Always a giant selection. We're washing away high prices on laundry appliances now at Campo.
America's values. The president bans deadly assault weapons. Dole Gingrich, vote no. The president passes family leave. Dole Gingrich, vote no. The president stands firm. A balanced budget protects Medicare, disabled children. No again. Now Dole resigns, leaves gridlock he and Gingrich created. The president's plan. Balance the budget, protect Medicare, reform welfare. Do our duty to our parents, our children. America's values.
Call a Bryant dealer to the rescue and get Bryant's quiet 2-speed plus air conditioner. Its lower speed can lower cooling bills up to 60%. Call Bryant to the rescue. 1-800-HOT-SAVE.
Classic American cooking, Piccadilly. Great fresh food and plenty too. Cooked up special for me and you. When you're in the mood to pick and choose Piccadilly.
Choose the dilly and get 2 vegetables, your choice of selected entrees, and a bread for just $4.39 without a coupon.
Piccadilly for lunch and dinner. Piccadilly's a surefire winner. Classic American cooking, Piccadilly. Yeah.
Looks like that humid stuff is coming back for the work week, huh?
Slowly but surely, yeah. It's a nice break from the summertime muggies. It won't be so bad tomorrow, maybe just up just a bit, but then by Tuesday we'll start to really feel the humidity back in our air. So it's going to come back, so enjoy the rest of tonight and tomorrow because, yeah, it's coming back. Take a look at our outlook for tonight. You're going to have more 60-degree weather, so enjoy it. No record temperatures were broken around the area. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, just a tad warmer, and maybe just a little bit more humid, but overall, it should be a pretty nice Monday. Rain chances almost nothing. We're looking at a 10% chance for rain for tomorrow. Look at our temperatures this morning. Baton Rouge tied a record low at 60. We had 60 degrees on the North Shore in the city, upper 60s away from town, 64 at the airport in Kenner. Missed the record by 1 degree. 67 in Morgan City, 61 at the Naval Air Station. The average 6 degrees below our normal. We don't say that often this time of year. High temperature-wise, everybody in the 80s, low to mid-80s, still 7 degrees below the normal for the average. Warm spot right here in the French Quarter at 86 degrees. Take a look at our current conditions outside, and we'll show you that it's partly cloudy, 81 at the airport, 82 at the Audubon Zoo, 80 in Slidell. Humidity at 51%. We have a west wind at 7, barometer 29, 90, and falling. High temperature at the airport, 82, and no rain the past 24 hours. As we show you what's going on with temperatures elsewhere around the area, you can see some 90s in the Texas, so things already starting to heat up. But a lot of cool weather right here with the upper low that is still spinning about, keeping a lot of clouds and some showers around. As the satellite goes into motion, you can see this upper low spinning around. It's the one that helped to bring us our rain that we had over the Saturday morning period. And now it's all pushed off towards the east and staying there, and drier air has replaced it. So one more day of some nice, comfortable readings in the morning and in the afternoon. Not so warm, but we are going to see the humidity start to return as the winds start to come back to a southerly direction. Look at our temperatures around the rest of the nation. Very hot across many areas of the west. Las Vegas, 105. Even up in Montana in the 80s, Northern Plains in the 80s. Chicago with that wind off Lake Michigan still in the 50s. They've been very, very chilly the past couple of days because of that flow around that upper level low and that easterly wind bringing in the clouds from Lake Michigan. In the eastern seaboard, Boston at 60 degrees, 75 around Wilmington, North Carolina, and Miami at 88 degrees. For tomorrow, the upper low still spinning about. We'll see partly cloudy skies, rain chances pretty low at about 10%. Still very dry and very hot in many areas of the west. So looks like another nice day if you happen to be off for tomorrow. Here's our forecast for tonight. Mostly clear and mild. Again, maybe some upper 50s to low 60s on the North Shore, 60s south of the lake with light winds from the west-southwest. For tomorrow, partly cloudy, getting up on the warm side again, mid to upper 80s with a southwest wind at 8 to 15. Here's the marine forecast, 8 to 15 knots, 2 to 3 foot seas for Monday with a light chop on the area lakes. Average range in the tides about a half a foot. High tides will be occurring from mid to late morning. Lake and Gulf temperature at 82 degrees. And the extended forecast shows rain chances staying fairly low for the next several days as high temperatures get back up to where they should be, about 89 and 90 degrees. But another couple of mornings of morning temperatures in the 60s, so maybe you can open up the windows again tonight.
Yeah, let the mosquitoes in.
Oh,
That's the way it works lately. Yeah, screens. All right. Up next, Caribbean food and music take over City Park. We'll take a look.
Lawsuit abuse. Think about someone faking a fall, then filing a phony claim. Businesses close. People lose their jobs. When I promised you I'd pass legislation to stop these abuses, I kept my promise. I'll do the same in Washington. There's something else. Senators who serve in Washington more than 2 terms tend to abuse their powers. They lose touch with the people. I fought for term limits in Louisiana, and it's now the law. I'll do the same in Washington.
Common Sense for Louisiana. Chuck McMains, Senate.
What in this world can you get for $39.99? At America's Best, new patients get contact lenses or 2 pair of eyeglasses for $39.99, including the eye exam. America's Best contacts and eyeglasses. Daily wear soft contacts or 2 pair of eyeglasses, $39.99, including the eye exam. Now.
Closed captioning for this newscast is underwritten by Regions Bank.
Coming up tonight at 10, LSU fans held a big homecoming today for the Tigers baseball team and the ladies track team. Joel Thomas was there, and he'll have a special report. Also, Ronnie Burgess takes a look at how neighborhood kids beat the heat during the summertime, and he talks with the person who is responsible for keeping them cool. And finally, the spirit of reggae music filled City Park's Marconi Meadows. It was the final day for the 10th annual Reggae Rhythms International Art Festival. We leave you tonight with some sights and sounds of the Caribbean. We'll see you at 10.
Now that we found love, what are we gonna do? Give me love, give me love. Now that we found love, what are we gonna do? Give me love, give me love. Come with it. Hold it all like the floor, baby. It's time to run it like a ball, baby. Baby, we are ready. Tell me what you can tell it all, baby. That's the whole thing. Come on with the business.
My idea of a classic summer is driving with the top down and grilling out every chance you get. Shoney's makes it easy to do both with their grilled summer classics. Drive on over now for grilled steak, chicken, and seafood, served with Shoney's all-you-care-to-eat soup, salad, and fruit bar at a classic Shoney's price. Another great thing about Shoney's grilled summer classics, that you won't have to clean the grill.
Here comes one. Oh, an 87 Buick station wagon. Got it. 74 Volkswagen Beetle. A 285 horsepower V8 6-speed 1996 Chevy Camaro Z28.
Yeah, but what color?
New Orleans has a unique radio station. Listen. KLJZ, Smooth Jazz 106.7.
Yes, you may.
When something's really good, it's hard to imagine how it could possibly get any better.
But only one.
When something's really good, it's hard to imagine how it could possibly get any better.
It's time we said enough is enough. Find out what you can do. Call 1-800-WE-PREVENT. Not one more lost life, not one more grieving family, not one more.
A World Series wrap-up with the Tigers tonight.